We make mistakes and we hurt people deeply sometimes, and saying I'm sorry is not enough. Sometimes we need to make amends for it. So today we are discussing how to make amends easily. Without further ado, let's get started. Tip number 1, write it down. Writing it down is important because when we don't write and when we don't know what we are going to tell them, we sometimes use extra words. You don't have to use any extra words. You can just say, Shami, I'm sorry, or Shami, it was wrong of me for saying that thing to you on that day, and I apologize. That's all. You don't have to say any extra thing that you have said that because of that. When you say because, you're justifying yourself. We are not justifying here. We are just making the amend to make them feel better. At the same time, this amend will make us feel better. So use that exact words. So just write it down, make it clear. When you hurt someone, they remember it, and they know what you did. It stays in their heart, it stays in their mind. So when you are writing that or telling them that I'm sorry because of that reason, they exactly know that you really meant it. So write it down. Tip number 2, speaking out loud. When you are writing an amend, try to speak out loud with yourself. Practice in front of a mirror. Practice when you are alone. And try to speak out loud so you can finalize your tone, because tone is everything. You can say sorry, but if you say I'm sorry, it doesn't really make any sense. You have to really mean that you are sorry. So practice out loud and finalize your tone, and let yourself know. If someone says an amend this way, will you be able to forgive them? If you think yes, you will be able to forgive them. If someone says it in this way, maybe it's a right pattern. So try to fix your tone and practice out loud. Tip number 3, do it only when you are calm and relaxed. Don't go and make an amend when you are stressed, you are angry, you are upset, you are sad, because that might not land in the right way that you really want it to. When you are calm and relaxed, you can actually make your tone appropriate and you can really mean it. So, and other people also can see that you are stressed. So when you really know that you want to make an amend and you are ready for it, only go when you are relaxed, so that person also can feel the positive energy in you or calming energy from you. Tip number 4, take prior appointments. So if you are making an amends to your family who lives in the same house, it's much easier because you get them often. But if someone lives far away from you or doesn't live in the same city or in the same country, normally it's better if you make this amends in person. Don't make it over the phone. You can wait for a couple of hours or years or days or months to make that amends. It's not a big deal because you already have hurt them. That has gone a long run, and you have to wait and you have to physically make it. So if someone is living like quite far from you, you call them and you let them know that you want to talk to them, you want to meet them, and if that's okay with you, because nobody expects you to go in their office unannounced and make an amends. And you don't necessarily need to take permission in advance that I want to talk about the things happened a couple of years ago or a couple of months ago. You don't necessarily need to do that, because even if they are not taking it positively, they might react badly. They might react in a very negative way. They might react in a way that you are not expected. So don't expect anything. If they are reacting in a way that you are not expecting, just don't say anything. And so you're taking a prior appointment. They are mentally ready that they will be seeing you, and when you meet them, you can make the amend. And why it is important to take a prior appointment is because when they are not expecting you at all and you disturb them in the middle of something and they're not ready to talk to you, that might not have a good impact. So take prior appointment. Tip number 5, consider whether this will make any harm or good to that person. If you are in a relationship with someone, or if you were in a relationship with someone and you have hurt them deeply and they are in a relationship with some other person right now, and you go and make the amend, might harm them. So consider whether your amend will make them harm or not. So if it does not do any good and make a harm in reaction, it's not a good thing to do. We are not trying to do any bad for them. We are trying to do good for them. We are trying to make them feel better. We are trying to make us feel better. So if you are not able to make them any amends to them, don't worry, we have a tip for you as well. But don't consider really that whether you are allowed to do it, you should say this or not, whether they will take it positively or not, whether they will take it rightfully or not. So think about it, really consider about it, you can pray about it, and your higher power will be able to tell you whether, I'll give you information through you or through somebody else, whether you should make this amends or not. Tip number 6, consider whether it is safe or not. If you are in a relationship with someone who was physically abusing or mentally abusing, the amends might not land the way you want it. They might react in a physical way or physically violent way or emotional attack. So it's not safe for you. So you have to also think about whether this amends is safe for you or not. So if it's not safe for you, don't do it. If it's not safe for them, don't do it. And you have to think about it, you have to consider about it, but write it down. When you write it down and you really know what you're going to say, and you know that person well because you lived with that person, you know them very well, you know their nature. So try to consider whether they will react negatively or positively. If you think they will react it into a positive manner, only then go ahead and do it. Tip number 7, write a God letter. If you're not able to make an amends for them to make harm, if you're not able to make an amends to them because it's not safe for you or them, write a God letter instead. Write a letter to your God, whichever higher power you believe in. I am a Muslim, I believe in Allah. If you're a Hindu, you believe in Bhagwan. If you're a Christian, you believe in God. So any higher power you believe in, you write a letter to them. And you write a letter to them saying, Dear Allah, dear God, I have done this to that. It was wrong of me and I apologize for it. So you are not making an amends to that person. Instead, you are making an amends to your God, to your higher power. Your higher power will send that energy to that person in a different way. And you don't have to physically be involved in this. And they will have the peace that they really need. Tip number 8, share with someone that you trust. I have a mentor and I share everything with my mentor. If I have to make an amend, I write it down, I go through whatever the process we already have shared, and then I go ahead and tell her like, hey, I have someone that I have really hurt and I want to make an amends, and I have write it down, do you want to hear about it? Can you please let me know whether it is okay or not? So you have spoken out loud in your mind, and your ears got to listen at what you are trying to say to that person, that amends. So now when you are letting know another person, that person also can give you an insight. That person can tell you whether this sounds sincere or not, and whether this might. So you have to also tell them what you did, because whether anyway the amends will let them know what you did. So the amends needs to be crystal clear, and when you're sharing with other person, the person can let you know their feedback, and you can share with 2 more people or 3 more people if you really trust them, but don't share with like random people. Don't share on Facebook saying, hey, I have really hurt someone and I want to make an amends and this is what I do. This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about really private matters, and you really have to do it with the people that you really trust. Tip number 9, avoid all kinds of excuses. When you're writing it down, please make sure you are not writing, I have done this because of this, I have done this because I was going through that. Don't try to justify yourself. Don't say any excuse. You're just saying sorry here. You just have to really mean it. If you give excuses, if you really give all this justification, they will feel that you are not making an amends. You are just trying to justify yourself all over again. Maybe you have done that in the past and they are like pissed off about it. So don't say that. Don't do it. Tip number 10. The most important tip is be sincere. It doesn't matter what you are saying sometimes. If you are really sincere, you are saying sorry about something, the person will know that whether you are sincere or not. Because when you are sincere, it gives a different energy to that person. So be sincere about it and just say what you need to say. I hope this video is helpful to you. If you need to make an amends to somebody, you know and you feel this video, I hope that will be helpful to you, and if it's helpful, please let us know in the comment box below. And thank you so much for watching our video. We will see you in the next video.